Hi, it's Lee from the Japanese Water Gardens. Welcome to my step-by-step guide to installing an Owaza gravity-fed drum filter. An automatic filter that flushes itself clean and requires only a moderate amount of maintenance. If installed correctly, a drum is arguably the most efficient and easy to maintain koi pond filter. In this series of videos, I will explain how to connect your drum to an aerated bottom drain, fit a simple water auto top-up with built-in overflow, and pipe in your pump, UV and skimmer. Even if you're not opting for a drum system, there is a huge amount of extra information you will want to know before you construct your pond. So get sat down with a coffee and let me show you how I would go about installing one of these amazing filters. Hi there, welcome to part 5 of my step-by-step guide to installing a gravity-fed drum filter. In the previous videos, we built up this pond with a bottom drain and skimmer. Then installed the Owaza drum, fitted an auto top-up system and tackled pumps, UVs and return pipework. Please take the time to watch those other videos first, otherwise this one might not make much sense. In this video, we're going to be finishing off the building of the pond, and we're going to take a look at how you can deal with a problem that many people struggle with: disposing of pond wastewater. Ideally, the bottom of your pond should be sloped inwards towards the bottom drain. This will help waste material from the koi slip down and be pulled into the filter system. A lot of people are going to be wondering why I didn't point this out in the very first video when the pond base went in. And it is obviously possible for you to create this at that stage. But sometimes it's tricky to create sloping bases with concrete, especially if you're having a mix delivered and it turns up and it's extremely sloppy. It's going to slump down and level long before it sets. When we built our new quarantine system a few years ago, we used an unconventional method to create the sloping bases. We used recycled waste bricks, broken slabs and rubble. All that we needed to do was take the bricks and stack them up 3 high around the edge. Inside this, we created a stack of bricks 2 high and then 1 high. We then took bits of broken brick and slab and rubble and we placed them inside. The idea is to create a shape that is roughly the shape of a dish. We then mixed up some concrete mix, dry, with no water, and we worked it down into all of the open spaces and cracks. To finish off the base, we added some concrete that was slightly wet, and we used a board to tamp it down smooth. It was very easy just to kneel in the center and work towards the outside. By gradually adding some water, you can float up a good finish. I expect that any builders watching this are screaming just how weak this concrete base is and how amateur the method is. But it's simple, it's foolproof and it's cheap. You can make the slope as steep as you want to. It also makes good use of materials that most people will have lying around, probably waiting to be shoveled into a skip. We're not going to be building anything off this base. It's going to be more than strong enough, and it works amazingly well. Before we can fill up this pond, it will need waterproofing, and there are basically 3 options that would be used to achieve this. The old favourite is a liner. If done properly with a high quality rubber liner, there is no reason why the pond should not remain waterproof for many years to come. Liners are a great option if you're doing a DIY job. They are cost effective, they're simple to work with, and it's easy to seal them to the bottom drain and water returns. But liners will form unsightly folds and creases. They can be difficult to hide and they can trap solids, preventing them from being transported into the filter. If you are going to be doing it with a liner, don't make that sloping base too steep, otherwise it may cause excessive folds and creases. Pond paints are often seen as a better option than liners, but personally I don't recommend them. Pond paints require a high level of preparation and they can develop leaks after a very short period of time. Pond paints are not particularly cheap either, and they can be extremely difficult to repair when problems arise. A much superior option to pond paints is GRP fiberglassing. Ponds can be waterproofed with layers of fiberglass matting that is wet out with resin and finished with a coloured flow coat. Done properly, the fiberglass option is without doubt the very best. Fiberglassing is normally carried out by an experienced installer. The finished lining will be strong and durable, and there will be no folds or creases. It will give you many years of trouble-free service. Fiberglass can be applied to a variety of surfaces, such as cement render, plywood, or even foil blacked insulation board. If your finances will stretch to fiberglass, it's absolutely the way to go. Make sure that you get booked in early with a glasser, as they often get busy, particularly in the spring and early summer. If you would like to learn more about these options, then please check out some of the other videos that I made. Once the waterproofing is completed, the pond can be filled through the top-up system, and all the water will be dechlorinated as it passes through the inline filter. To finish off your filter, you could use short lengths of decking, simply placed loose across the top, or connected into panels and have it rise on a hinge. I have often come across ponds with hinged panels that were just way too heavy to be lifted easily. If it takes two people to lift them, then it's going to become a chore. As mentioned in video 3, one of the greatest challenges that pond builders can face when constructing a pond can be wastewater management. We connected the 110mm pipe to the dirty water discharge pipe on the filter, then teed in a feed from the filter service drain. The overflow water was also dropped into this pipe, and then the water from the bottom drain purge was also connected in. All of the wastewater from this pond is going to be discharged from a single 110mm pipe. So there's nothing difficult about that bit, but here comes the bit that can be a challenge. Where is this water going to go from here? The water has to be allowed to run away, and it's going to have to run downhill somewhere. For some people, this will mean running out a pipe to an area where it can simply soak into the ground. Pond water is full of nutrients, and it makes excellent water for plants. Now we can be talking about a substantial amount of water, especially when doing a bottom drain purge. So this option will require a large area that can soak up all of the water. We don't want a problem with flooding your garden or causing problems with your neighbours. The other option would be to run it straight out into a domestic drain. Whilst this might not be strictly within planning permission, pond water is not likely to contain anything nasty, and it's unlikely that anyone is ever going to find out that you're doing this. So what the hell is the big deal? What am I making such a fuss about? Well, the problem arises when you don't have access to a soakaway or drain that is lower than the level of the pond. And this is a very, very common problem. In this case, what you will have to do is you will have to create a large sump tank that will capture all of the water and store it in a tank. Over a period of time, a pump will kick in and start to pump the water up to the higher level where it can either soak away or run into your drain. It's going to be very important that the sump is sufficient in size, and it will need to capture several hundred gallons of water. To construct the sump, you could use brickwork or concrete, or perhaps you could use manhole sections stacked up one on top of the other. Having a good solution to this problem is very important. Whatever method works for you, just remember that the discharge pipe must not be stepped down, otherwise the purge will not work as intended. Don't compromise on this part of the job. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you a working system and explaining how to maintain it. Then we will do a complete recap of the whole building process and perhaps take a few alternative perspectives and elaborate on a few things that I feel I could have explained better. Look out for the next video soon. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please subscribe, post a comment and give the video a thumbs up. It's bye for now from Lee at the Japanese Wood Gardens.